Airlines can remove disabled travelers from their aircraft if the captain believes a paying customer is too disabled to fly. Thousands of discrimination cases are filed each year, but by federal law, no one can sue. In East Grand Rapids, frequent flyer removed from a flight is taking up the cause to change the law. We discuss on Newsmakers. The friendly skies are not so friendly if you live with a disability limiting your mobility. Johnny Title gets around in a wheelchair. He was removed from a U.S. air flight back in September of 2010 when it was determined he was too disabled to fly. He says his civil rights were violated and should have the right to sue the airline. He started a cause called Let 'Em All Fly, hoping to change the law to allow him to take legal action. Girlfriend Laura Folsom was with Johnny the day he was removed from the flight. She's co-founder of Let 'Em All Fly.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Excellent.
Well, you're excellent now, but back in 2010, that was a different story.
Well, it was a rough year.
And that day kind of
kept
started it.
Yeah, it really did.
Just for a little background here, I've heard this story a few times from you. I know, Laura, you were there. What happened?
I went to the West Palm Beach International Airport to fly from Palm Beach to Kansas City, Missouri to speak for a National Disability Advocacy Conference. And I got to the airport, went up to the counter, introduced myself to Mr. Stone from U.S. Airways, and he assured me that he was going to help me on the plane. He asked all sorts of questions about the wheelchair. I assured him the chair was equipped to fly and not built to fly, because wheelchairs don't fly, but it could go on the plane and safely. And then he said he would be the one to meet me at the gate to get me on the plane. Went through security without incident. Got to the gate, waited approximately 45 minutes. He came up to me, Mr. Stone came up to me with an aisle chair. We wheeled on board, placed me on the aisle chair, wheeled me on board, transferred me onto my seat. Second row past the bulkhead, not an exit row, and said, "Enjoy your flight." Left, came back about 15 minutes later and said, "Mr. Title, we need to talk." All right, let's talk. What do you want to talk about? Seriously.
I'm ready to fly, right?
Yeah.
I'm in my seat, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Why is nobody else on the plane?
Right. Seriously. I'm like, okay. He said, "Well, we need to talk outside the plane." And he's got the aisle chair, and I'm like, okay. And he threw me. He's like, "We need to talk outside the plane." And I'm thinking, something happened to one of my kids, one of my parents, you know, heart attack, something's up. Put me back in the aisle chair. I'm like, this is weird. Wheeled me out, and Laura's standing there, and I had said goodbye to her, and her daughter's next to her, and her daughter's kind of panicking, and the guy looks at Laura and says, "Are you going to tell him?" She starts laughing. She goes, "No." And I'm not telling him.
My job.
You don't understand. I'm not telling him. And the guy said, "Well, Mr. Title, we have determined that you are too disabled to fly by yourself, and you are in need of a companion." Yes, you're right, I am. "You're in need of a companion, and we're not going to let you fly by yourself. You're banned from the airline if you fly by yourself."
Okay, you've flown how many, because part of your job is?
I'm a motivational speaker, funny man. Hence I led with motivational speaker depending on the day. And I'm an entertainer, and I motivate people. I tell stories, and it's what I do. I've traveled probably 500,000 miles by plane.
And on this airline before?
Yeah, I have flown on this airline before, without incident.
Okay, so now you're probably processing quite a few emotions here. You're having this conversation. He's saying you're too disabled to fly. You say what?
I started laughing. I really did. I didn't lose my temper.
No, he didn't lose his temper, but prior to him being removed from the plane, my daughter and I were stalled because we got passes to go walk him on the plane. So we're getting stalled wondering, you know, what's going on. And the gentleman that had met us at the gate to put him on the plane was like, you know, the pilot has come to the determination that Johnny's too disabled to fly. I'm like, this is a joke, right? Because he flies for a living. And when he was removing him from the plane, he said to me, well, are you going to tell him? That's when Johnny was standing there. And I was like, seriously? Like, how? It was like a circus, you know? Nobody really knew what they were doing. And then when they said that he could fly with a companion, they went and looked at the price of a ticket. Well, at the time, not knowing everything about the ACAA, we had no clue that.
And we'll get into the ACAA so people know. That's
Oh,
the
okay, I'm
Air
sorry.
Carriers
They
Access
Act.
Okay.
But they were looking for a ticket for me to fly with him as a
They wanted
companion.
to charge you for a ticket.
But because I know that you've done this a lot, I can only imagine what flying is like for you because
Well, what's flying
as an
like for
able-bodied
anybody?
person,
Yeah.
it's
It's a nightmare.
it's a nightmare to get around. For you, you're helping out. You know, you're dealing with all this to begin with. But I know that you know the system pretty well. You have a backup plan here anyway.
Right. I always have a backup plan.
Yeah, well, Johnny, the three of us left together down the, Breezeway or whatever they call it.
The jetway.
The jetway, and went to the ticketing counter, and Johnny held his composure very well.
You said, hey, get me on a Delta flight.
I did, because that's,
Right?
yeah, because they'll take care of me.
Delta, any problems?
No, the guy, Mr. Stone actually said, I can call them, but you're going to have the same issue. I said, no, I'm not. And he called, and they pulled up my flight number, and they're like, oh, well, we know Mr. Title quite well at this airport.
So
And he looked at you, they know you. I'm like, yeah, they do.
the irony is where you're heading, too.
I know. I'm going to a National Disability Advocacy Conference.
Okay, so we've talked about this in the past. So you decide back then in 2010, okay, you know what? I'm not going to litigate here. Okay, that was just something you were going to work with the airline.
I'm not going to litigate. I'm going to educate. I don't mean to sound like Jesse Jackson, but no, I'm seriously. And here's the thing. My theory back then was, you know, I want to make sure this doesn't happen to other people. And so I sent out a press release, and it hits. Remember?
You were on all the cable news networks.
Yeah, it went nuts.
Yeah.
And U.S. Airways starts backpedaling. So I thought, okay, they call and say, Mr. Title, we're really sorry, we made a mistake. We'd like to hire you as a consultant. And I'm like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. You don't have to pay me lots of money. Just let's help some people. Let's make sure this doesn't happen again.
But since then, you've realized a
Well,
little bit of naivete. They're working it to their advantage on this too, right? Because there's a period where they're supposed to
I think it's
reach
90
out,
days,
right?
isn't it? It's a 90-day. Yeah, it's a 90-day period under the DOT where they won't get fined and they start stalling. Okay, I didn't know they were stalling. What I also didn't know is behind the scenes, the DOT took action anyway on my behalf because it hit the wire. Everyone knew about it. I'm all over the news. I'm going through a hair, and I look up, there I am on the ticker, you know? Hey, it was weird.
Yeah, but now, through all of this, you kind of have this epiphany where you realize, like, why aren't I getting phone calls from attorneys?
Right. I get thousands of hits on the website. I get hundreds of calls from people, emails from disabled folks that had this happen to them, and no attorneys called.
And the light bulb goes.
Right? Finally, it takes like 2 weeks. This light bulb goes on, and someone said to me, "Well, you can't sue." I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Well, when they wrote the ACAA, the Air Carrier Access Act, which, for clarification to our viewers, is the ADA of the air, and it trumps the ADA here because it's pre-ADA." Follow me? So when the ADA wrote the ADA, am I confusing people?
No.
When the
Your
ADA,
attorney's right here if you need help.
yes. When they wrote the ADA said, we're not going to include airplanes because the Air Carrier Access Act does a really good job. Well, here's the thing. When Kennedy put it in for the bill to become a law in 1986. He forgot or left out on purpose, nobody knows, the right for a private cause of action. And if you don't have it written into the law, you can't sue.
And I know that you were in Toledo, and
Yes.
an attorney reached out to you.
Right.
And I mean, Laura, I know that you've really researched a lot of this. What's in this law? What needs to change? And how much? It's Mark Skeldon who's the attorney.
Correct.
What have you been working on here?
Well, we're trying to get people behind us, like senators and, you know, and also disability groups behind us, because the only way it's going to get out there and get changed, and it's not a fast process, it'll take a couple years, is to all get together and rally behind this. And as researching goes, there's not a lot in the ACAA that needs to be changed. The law itself and is written well. It's just they don't follow their written rules because they don't have to. They don't have to. You know, Johnny was, you know, as reading through, one was they can't charge a person a companion charge if they're on that plane already and it comes to the determination that they're too disabled to fly. And like I said earlier, they tried to charge for a ticket. We didn't know this at the time. There's rules to be followed if they come to determination that passenger is too disabled to fly, and they're actually supposed to see a complaint officer at the airport. That was never provided. We didn't know anything about the DOT, how that went through. Johnny never filed a complaint, but they filed on his behalf, and it goes right to the federal government, the money. They were charged $10,000, that's nickels and dimes to airlines.
It seems like there are a lot of inconsistencies here, because how can you fly? You're in Florida, you got there somehow.
I flew.
Right.
On US Air.
Right, so there are some issues of consistency here, and the law does not.
Lack of education, too.
Well, it also depends on who's flying the plane. I mean, they determined on this flight that I was too disabled to fly. On the flight out, they said I could fly. So it all depends on who's flying the plane and what they feel like and what their day's like. And if the flight attendant alerts the pilot didn't see me. The flight attendant alerted the pilot. Mr. Stone didn't even alert the pilot. Okay? So some young lady, or well, I don't know if she's young, doesn't matter, alerts the pilot that she thinks I'm too disabled to fly, and she doesn't think that she can handle me. I'm already in the seat.
Is that a case, though, where I'm going to guess the flight attendants get together, they look at the manifest, they kind of size people up to say, okay, there are 6 to 8 of us. We've got a group of seniors here. You got a guy with a broken leg, and they start doing. They do a tabulation in their head and say, and then there's Johnny Title in the wheelchair. How are we going to handle that?
Right.
I mean, is it a numbers game?
Possibly.
But there was no one on the airplane yet. Nobody
No,
had
but
boarded
they have the
prior.
manifest. They have the manifest, and
Oh,
they
I
know
got
who's
you.
going to get on the plane. You're right. They have a manifest, and they know how many wheelchairs there are, how many walkers there are, how many criminals there are. There was a criminal on board behind me in handcuffs and ankle shackles with 2 air marshals. Ironically, handcuffed the whole way. He's too disabled to fly too. But he had a companion.
Right, and so, and that's just it. I mean, there is kind of
This inconsistency.
There's a profiling, which
Yes.
there's an issue with that, because you said that's an issue when it comes to your civil rights.
Right, right. You made a snap judgment by looking at me and said, you're this, so you can't do this. And there's a problem with that. Nobody asked me any questions. Nobody said, what are your abilities? Nobody said, hey, in case of an emergency, are you able to do this? They just put me in my seat, made the determination, and removed me from the plane.
They might go through the manifest, but also in the ACAA it states that they cannot limit the amount of people coming on with wheelchairs onto an aircraft.
And I know that I've played devil's advocate with you before.
Yes.
You know, this whole idea of who is disabled to fly, and again, kind of profiling and looking at people. Somebody who's got a broken leg, somebody who has maybe a vision issue. I know that you said, well, what about all the people who are drinking on flights? Aren't they disabled at some point?
But because they don't have a diagnosed disability, they're not covered under the ACAA. And they have a legal cause of action to sue if they're overweight or broken leg or drunk or dressed inappropriately. they have a right to private cause of action. And the airlines know this.
And that's the issue here.
Yeah.
Others can sue.
Right.
You
I don't
cannot under the act.
Patrick, I don't really even know if when it's all said and done, I don't know if I really want to sue.
You want to make sure, though, there's opportunity for
I
others
want to make sure
to-
there's opportunity for other people to have the right to do this if they have to. And not just, I don't want people to just have the right to sue. I want the airlines to follow their own rules. And if you don't have any ramifications, if you've got children, they do something wrong, and you say, if you do this, here are the consequences. Well, if there are no consequences, they're going to continue the bad behavior.
Because if you can go online, you can go to the U.S. Department of Transportation, and you can see all the discrimination cases.
Yeah.
Yes.
They are documented. There's probably, from what I was able to gather from the last year, the most recent year published, over 20,000. I've spoken with an airline attorney. We looked at some of the numbers. Some of those are wheelchair, but they're wheelchairs in the concourse, and that service has typically been bid out to another company. So we said, okay, let's throw that outlier. Let's just take that one out of the mix. There still are over 10,000 discrimination complaints.
Right.
I mean, even if you take that out because it's really the airlines contracting out that service. But okay, so you throw that out. Still a lot of cases out there. And those folks don't have the opportunity to sue.
Right. And that's wrong. I mean, it's your fundamental right as an American to be able to have certain things happen if something happens to you. And in this case, that's not the case.
Tough on the airline, though.
Understood. And I agree with you completely.
Because each airport, I believe, each airline has a manager at each airport.
Yes. Each airline has a manager at each hub, and they make determinations, and pilots make determinations, but nobody's on the same page.
Right. And they're doing this quickly. And
Yes.
they're
And understood. Understood. I've been there. I fly. I get that part. I sympathize. I sympathize when they have to lift this 350-pound chair into the belly of the plane. But I also scratch my head and go, why don't you have a one-arm lift to lift it on the plane? Why hasn't somebody come up with something that's not expensive, because they do it in minivans, same height, and there's just no consistency.
I know that you've said before that the one thing that you wish you could do, but your condition doesn't allow that, is that you would serve your country.
Yeah.
And you think about the veterans out there, that many of them would be deemed too disabled to fly.
Correct. Correct. I believe there has been veterans that have been escorted off of planes deemed too disabled to fly at the time. And those are people that fought for our country. They're the soul of America. How do you do that?
And they don't have any more rights than I do, okay, as an American, but they make sure our rights are
Right.
enforced. They make sure we have those rights. They make sure that nobody treads on us, okay? And yeah, someone asked me yesterday at a speech in a high school, they said, is there anything you regret having a disability? I said, one thing, I couldn't serve my country. I would have been a Marine in a heartbeat.
I know that you've spoken with at least a couple of congresspeople, one in Ohio, and then here, Bill Huizenga in Zeeland. And I know that when you talk veterans, though, that tends to get the attention of lawmakers.
Yes, it does.
I know that you sat down with Bill, and how did the conversation go?
The conversation went well. He found it very interesting that this happened to me. He was intrigued by the fact that there are veterans returning home and wanted to make sure this didn't happen to them. He said he would assist in any way possible, and he said that politically, which is what they do. I believe him. I think he's a person that's genuine, and I haven't heard from him since.
I'll be giving him a call. Don't worry about it. I'm in conversation with him. We've talked about it.
Yeah, I know.
So.
And it's not that I think he's blowing us off.
No.
Not at all. Like Laura said, this is a long process.
And I want to get into that. You've started a cause. It's called Let 'Em All Fly.
Right.
You've got a Facebook page.
Yep.
I've been there. I've looked at it. There are so many cases out there. And we talk about companions. There's a child, there's a story there, a young man has a specially made chair for the airline seat, as far as I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Same issue, even with both parents at his side.
But it doesn't have the airline sticker on it, therefore they can't use it. It hasn't been cleared by the FAA.
But he made it to where he was going to on the same airline. And on the return flight home,
From Disney.
he had to be held, and the chair was made by an orthopedic company for his pain and to help him with pain and how he sits. So, you know, not to say anything bad about the car seats, but we ship them overseas to China, and they get slapped with a sticker that these are safe for a plane. But something specially made for a child in the United States isn't. And he makes it to the destination but can't make it back.
Good point.
Makes no sense.
Have a magical day.
And I know that what upsets you too is the fact that these things can happen at any time. This decision and how disruptive it is. I mean, you've given examples.
Yeah. Well, and it is disruptive, and there's a whole business element to it. We talk about civil rights, and that's important, but there's a whole business element to this. I'm on a schedule. There are people waiting for me. There are thousands of people waiting for me to do something, and I'm good at it.
That's how you
right?
make your living.
Yeah, I'm really good at it, right? Trust me. Here's my number. No, I'm good at it. And so if I can't get there to do my job, but then also if they slap me with an attendant, okay, it's going to cost me X amount to fly that person there if they don't tell me that, you know. And then I need to get a hotel room, pay for their meals, everything else. Well, my cost of my speech then goes up. And they go, well, we can hire Patrick, who can walk on the plane, and the message is a little different, but we're motivating our wicket salesman. So really, it's the bottom line is we can get Patrick for $3,000 less. Let's hire Patrick.
But you had talked about, you know, you mentioned this little boy at Disney.
Sorry, did I get off?
No. You talk about, you know, make a wish.
Right.
Somebody could be going to a funeral or a wedding.
Funeral,
or
job interview.
Job interview.
I'm going to go.
Doctor appointments set up months in advance.
Because they're
On
dying.
the Let 'Em All Fly page, there's a woman that talks about she couldn't fly. She was scheduled for special doctor's appointments. And then they're so worried about her being, you know, too disabled to fly and her disability, they let her sit in the airport for 8 hours waiting for a ride home because they escorted her off the plane. How worried were they really?
Good luck.
Yeah, bye.
So how do we fix this? I mean, obviously you've started the cause, Let 'Em All Fly. You've spoken with, you know, Congressman Huizenga and others. You have an attorney. I know that there's an aviation attorney in Philadelphia who's now part of the team here and giving some guidance.
Correct.
What is the process? How do you begin to affect change?
The process is very simple. We need to get this grassroots, what is it called? Grassroots movement. Thank you. You're supposed to help there. Grassroots. Sorry.
I don't
Grassroots.
put words in people's mouths.
Right. You don't? No, I'm sorry. Grassroots. We got to get this grassroots movement to move forward. We need people behind it, and we need to raise money. We're in the middle of setting up the nonprofit, which takes a while. That in itself takes a while. So we can raise money to lobby the federal government, Congress, and get this law changed, get it amended. So if there is a private cause of action, then they have to follow their rules. Their rules make sense. Some of the rules probably need to change. We're gonna have people go through that, and we might as well make some suggestions while we're at it. But the main crux of this is we need to get this thing changed. So there's a private cause of action.
Airlines will probably involved in this. Do you think they'll kind of give in a little bit and say, oh, okay, you're right?
No.
No.
No, they're going to dig their heels. They're going to drop their wheels and dig down on the runway. And they should. I get that. I would too. I totally get that. But
the more they dig, the more we're going to push forward, and the more people that are behind us. And I know people understand this. It's you know, not something that is that hard to figure out.
You're hoping for a congressional hearing at some point.
Yes.
Yes. Wouldn't that be fun?
With you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll make sure
You
you're
see
there.
that?
So that's what you're hoping for?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for.
And do you have some kind of a time frame, at least, to get this moving along?
You know, I can't give you that. I don't know. I mean, we want it moving along in a couple of years. I'd like it done in 6 months, but it's not going to happen.
All right. Laura Folsom, co-founder, Let 'Em All Fly, Johnny Title.
I'm really.
You're the founder. You're the founder.
I
of Let
don't
'Em All
know.
Fly.
I don't know.
Thank you both for joining us.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
having us.
And thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.